Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting edition of Torah Talks here at the House of Rabs. I'm your host for the evening. I'm Rabbi Rabs, and to my right is the one and only, the very holy Levi ben Abraham, a.k.a. Luke Ford. Say hello.
G'day, mates.
All right, so big night, big show for you tonight. Might notice a different backdrop than the last couple of weeks because we always had the big screen in the back, but tonight we can't show you that because the big screen's showing a big game, right? And the game is between
Kansas and Kentucky.
the basketball championship. And who are you rooting for, Levi?
Kentucky.
Why do you want Kentucky?
I don't know, just they're an incredible team. I mean, they're obviously the better team.
Okay.
They may not win tonight, but they're the better team. And all these freshmen, like, they just bring people in for 1 year, let them play for 1 year, and then
The
send
one
them
and
to
dones.
pros. One and dones.
One and done. I personally want Kansas because they have a white guy on their team, and he's from Southern California. So he's like the local guy, and I can relate to him because he's not black, and all the other guys on the court are black. So,
And you can also relate to him because he's gay.
is he? He's such an asshole. Such an asshole. All right. Okay.
So how many Hasidim are there in Los Angeles aside from Chabad? Maybe 100 tops?
I don't know. We didn't have the census survey come. They don't say.
No,
the
but
Jewish-
what you've seen, I would say less than 100.
Oh no, there's got to be more than 100.
Who? There are only Chabad, aside from Chabad.
There's Satmars.
There aren't any Satmars in LA.
Yes, there are. I told you this last week.
Tell me again.
There's Satmars in L.A.
Okay, let's settle that.
They have their own shul over there.
Which
They have
one? Mogan Abraham?
They have that. They also have like a little Stiebels over there.
Really?
Yeah, and they've got, they got their school. I know this for a fact because I know a kid who was going over there to school, and he was the only person who was not Satmar in the. They got their little tiny school set up.
How many Satmar would you say are in Los
I don't know.
Angeles?
I don't know, maybe about. I don't know. I don't know that there's certainly more than just a couple families, and also there was Breslov. There's a lot of Breslov running around here. That counts,
I guess.
right? So there's some there's and there's some Stalin, Staliner Hasidim, like Rabbi Stern across town. He's a big Rav. Do you know him? He's a Sculliner. There's like little pockets of this people and that people. We got them all here. There's a lot of Hasidim. I'd say maybe a few hundred.
Really?
Families. Yeah. We got everything. And over in Hancock Park, like on June Street and those rich people, there are a lot of Hasidim on that street. At various places, various streams, if you will. Why did you ask me that last week, by the way?
Because I keep getting these inquiries. One was from Newsweek magazine, and one was from a Jewish journalist wanting to know about Satmar Hasidim in Los Angeles. So
Why do they all want to know about Satmar Hasidim?
I don't know. They haven't told me. I guess they're safeguarding their little story. But
okay, here's
it's
the thing.
not in the news. I googled it. There's nothing in the news about
all right,
Satmar.
the thing about Newsweek, did you get my email?
Yeah.
They're a hack thing, right? Now look at all the stories that they've written in the last few months. All their stories are just trashing conservatives, trashing, religion and all this. And so, what do you think they're going to do when they get a hold of a story? They're going to just trash and make the Torah Jews look bad. So I would say, don't even talk to them. Just avoid them at all costs.
That's all well and fine for you to say, but this particular reporter is smoking hot.
Well, then,
Smoking hot blonde.
Well, in that case, throw
So,
the Jews under the bus.
Throw the Jews under the bus
Throw the Jew down the well.
Throw the Jew down the well so that my
country
fantasies can be free.
Now, let me ask you. You said that the Jewish Journal is interested in something. Was interested in that too.
No, another Jewish journalist. A Jewish journalist.
Not the Jewish Journal.
No.
Because I may have seen you hobnobbing with the Jewish Journal last week.
Yeah, I had lunch with the editor and publisher Rob Eshman on Thursday.
Yeah, and they took him to a very...
he said he'd take me anywhere on Pico Boulevard, and I said, let's go to Milk and Honey.
No, you said, let's go to the massage parlor next to the Ohel Moshe, and he said, I can't afford that. So then,
I said it's only $100 that's with the tip.
And so then you talked him down to where'd you?
Yeah, Milk and Honey.
Milk and Honey's where I'm walking down the street and I'm like minding my own business and I see like Milk and Honey is like this really posh, upscale, kosher restaurant where people are usually dressed up and they look, very business,
Right.
formal attire and whatnot. And I'm
Much
walking
like
by,
myself.
and I see some schlub in the window, and he's like dressed like like in jeans and like like this. He's like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the hell would dress like that in a fancy place? And I look, and it's like, it's Levi. Like, what the hell's he? He's right by the window. Like, they put you right at the window so that everybody could see you, to attract business. I don't know. So, how was that lunch? Tell us about that.
It was fun. It was good to compare notes with the Jewish journalist and the exciting business of trying to earn a living online and the exciting world of Los Angeles Jewish journalism.
What exactly did he want, or is that like private? Can't talk about it.
Wanted to get my thoughts on Pasha.
Oh yeah. He's taking you out to a fancy lunch because he needs Levi's opinion on the Torah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
He doesn't really have access to many other Torah Jews, and so
naturally.
he wanted to pick my brain about right and wrong, what's God's plan for our lives. And,
your name came up last night.
Oh.
Yeah, me and somebody. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention we're filming in front of a live audience tonight. So let's hear it from our studio audience. When I count to 3, I want the studio audience to clap. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Overwhelming on the. Okay, so I was actually with one of the studio audience members last night, and we were watching a show.
With her.
Yeah, I was watching. We were watching Mob Wives.
Okay.
Okay, and we're watching Mob Wives, and the discussion on the show was that there's apparently this guy, and I'm not going to say his name or anything, but he's apparently like the expert blogger on anything related to mafia doings, right? Mm-hmm. And he had written on his blog, right?
Jerry Capici.
You know the guy?
Yeah.
How do you know the guy?
I know. I've written a lot about the mafia myself.
Oh, really? Jerry Capici. So he had wrote Gangland. Was it
Gangland? Yeah.
Gangland.com or something?
Yeah.
So he wrote on his blog. Their show was talking about this. That he wrote on his blog that the main character in Mob Wives, that her ex-husband had flipped. He'd snitched on her father and put him in the right. But like nobody else was talking about it. Like wasn't on any legitimate news sources. But he had written it. And they were saying, when he blogs that means it's true. This guy's like always right? Yeah. And I was mentioning it to this audience member who was watching the show with me that this guy is like the old Luke Ford. This is how Luke was with the porn industry. Mm-hmm. Like if Luke blogs it, then it's right. Mm-hmm. He always gets it right. The audience member then mentioned that but that was when he was in porn. But now that he's just blogging about Torah and Jewish stuff, he's always wrong.
Thanks, Esther.
So, I didn't say names. So there you go. So if he was talking to you because he wanted to get the story right, then Jewish Journal must be wanting to delve into the porn business. Because that's the only area you're always right.
That's what Los Angeles Magazine said in some flippant remark, because I'd initially been signed up for Pajamas Media, which was this consortium of top bloggers. Okay. And then the backer was very anti-porn, so when they found out I was writing a porn blog on the side, they fired me. And Los Angeles Magazine wrote about it, and they said, why would anyone hire Luke Ford to write about anything aside from porn?
Yeah. By the way, did you know that I'm in the latest issue, the April issue of Los Angeles Magazine? Yeah. Sports my picture in it, by the way, folks, on page 124. If you've got the Los Angeles Magazine, open it up. On page 124, there's a story because it's like the multicultural issue, because it's 20 years since it's the anniversary of the
LA riots.
The LA riots and everything. That's showing how we've all diversified and now we're multicultural. We all love each other. So they did a story of like the places that indicate that, right? And so they picked Mexico-kosher because it's a restaurant. It's a Mexican kosher restaurant here in the heart of Jewtown, right? And it's operated. The owner is half Latino and half Japanese. So he's like, it doesn't get more multicultural than that. So they did a photo shoot of him, and they wanted me in the same photo, and they got me in it. So on page 124, you can see Rabbi Rav's.
They had a reporter who was going to do a big profile on me. He interviewed me twice. He went with me to a Torah class, and then 9/11 hit. And they kind of rejuggled their editorial priorities and my profile.
Is that on Los Angeles Magazine?
Yeah, and half the other things they were going to publish all went out the window.
Really? Interesting. Okay, so we've got 7 viewers and they're still with us, despite the fact that we're just shooting the breeze here. There's 7 viewers in the chat room, so big shout out, hello to you all. Hey Abes, how's it going? Esther, Giula, we don't know who you are. If you could tell us, that'd be great. Malachi,
doesn't Giula mean redemption?
Yeah, he's the Redeemer. Henry's in there, Liquid Wab, and of course Faith is in there. So okay, so that's what we got right now. All right, so where do we want to attack next?
Let's talk about Esther meeting your parents.
Okay, so Esther met my parents this week. Wow.
Yeah, and so did it, was she affected? Do they no longer think you're gay?
Do they no longer think well, according to my nephew Yaakov, who you've met and been on the show, he said no matter what would happen that day,
he said no matter what, actually saw you put your penis inside.
Even then,
it's like, oh, he's just faking.
Yeah, he's just doing it for,
He's just doing it for...
Yeah.
Do I think he's gay?
No matter how, they're still going to ask him if I'm in fact gay. So right now they're still going to think I'm a drug dealer and a what is it?
They're very perspicacious. And a homosexual.
Yeah, homosexual. So you want to hear from her? What she has to say?
Yeah, I want to hear from Esther.
Okay, so let's hear a big round of applause for Levi, and we're going to call one of our audience members up. Let's bring up one of the audience members to the show. If you remember her from last week, her name is Esther. So come on up, and I'm trying to stretch this out as long as possible because you will take longer to get up here. Okay. Okay, how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Okay, how are you doing? How's your trip in LA been so far? You've been here like 3 weeks already.
Yeah, it's been good.
Okay. All right, so I understand that you met my parents last week.
Yes.
How did that go?
Yeah, it was good. Sorry.
Well, what's your overall impressions of them?
They're nice. Friendly.
They're nice? They're friendly to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think their impressions of you were?
I think they liked me.
Okay. Do you think that they sensed...
I'm glad you didn't have a penis.
Do you think that they sensed that... do you think that you're being with me on that day and the way we interacted and whatnot, do you think that was enough to convince them that I'm not gay? I know it's a hard question for you to answer because you don't really know them.
No.
You think they still might think that?
Probably. Yeah.
Do you think it was enough to convince them that I'm not a drug dealer?
No.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Is it true that your mother, what does she think? Does she think I'm a drug dealer?
No, my mother apparently had a bit too much wine one night and then said to my dad that she thought you were in drug enforcement.
I'm in drug enforcement?
Yeah.
I'm in drug enforcement. Now, why would she think I'm in drug enforcement?
No idea. I was never told the reason.
Oh, she just came up with that. Is it because I don't drink?
Probably.
I haven't had a drink in almost 30 years.
Yeah, I told her that you don't do drugs or drink.
Okay.
Or have sex with women.
Or have sex with women, so probably thinks
Okay, so I'm on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, you need a kick out of something.
Because I can't be a priest, because priests all drink.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. So your mother thinks that I work with drug enforcement.
Yes.
And my mother thinks I'm a drug dealer, right? So, it's all pointing back to the show Breaking Bad, which we've talked about before on the show. And the question is, am I more like Hank or am I more like Walt? And time will tell, right?
You like neither.
I'm like neither. I'm like the son with the cerebral palsy.
Yeah. What's his name?
Something Junior. Walt Junior, I think.
Walt Junior.
Yeah. Okay, so that's very good. So I heard you're going back.
I am.
Now, a lot of people on Facebook are very upset about that. They think that you should stay here.
Okay.
And that you shouldn't go back. Mm-hmm. And you have something really good going for you here.
Uh-huh.
What would you say to them?
It's not really realistic.
Why isn't it realistic?
Well, no, I've got a good thing going here, but it's not really realistic just for me to stay in the country. It's a lot harder to do that, I've got to get a green card or a working visa.
Okay, so basically, so let me see if I got this straight. If someone was to give you a job and set you up with a visa,
it's got to be a good job, I'm not gonna work for basic wages like Mexicans do. I'm sorry. I want like a normal job that I can afford to pay rent on somewhere and, you know, have enough money to do stuff, you know?
Okay, so what we basically need is somebody out there who can make this happen, because what you got here is you got Rabbi Rabs, right? Lonely, blah, 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 you know, over here in Jewtown. And then you've got like this wonderful woman and you know, who'd like to spend some time with him, but she's off 8,000 miles away, would you say? Mm-hmm. And what's keeping us apart is just some logistics. You need a job, and to make that happen, you need a visa. So if there's somebody who lives in America, maybe you live in the LA area, maybe you have a legitimate job, and you could bring her in, please let us know, because otherwise you're back on a plane, are you not? And it's going to be their fault. They're going to have to live with that guilt. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want to be them. That's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you looking forward to going back?
I don't like work to go back to, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Really.
So actually, it's better to be in California and be around me and hanging out and stuff.
Yeah, but if I got a job, I'd have to like meet my same salary. I'm getting a job now.
Okay, well, okay. Right, but remember, this is not a socialist country, so you can actually keep the money you make. So that's important.
Yeah, but I'm still on a set salary.
Okay. All right, real good. What else do you have to share with us? Let's talk about Levi for a second, will you?
Okay.
Now, last night I heard that rumor has it that you watched Mob Wives. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that show, by the way?
Brilliant.
Brilliant. You love Mob Wives.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character in Mob Wives?
I like Drita.
You like Drita?
Yeah.
Okay, because she's like you. She's very tough. She talks a big game. She wants to kick people's asses and stuff. Is that you?
No, I just like her because she's got more self-respect.
Oh, okay. All right, so you're watching Mob Wives, right? And we were talking about this Jerry Capici guy, right?
Yeah.
And we said he gets it. The show said that he always gets it right. When it goes on his blog, it's got it right.
Yeah.
And I said that's like in the old days Luke Ford, because if there's something going on in the porn industry and Luke blogged on it, he was known that means it happened. He got it right.
Uh-huh.
And does that apply today with his blog?
I already know, because...
Oh, well, you're a lot of help. Okay.
No, but, like, to be fair, I mean, no offense, but it's, like, getting it right in the porn industry is not exactly, like, drastic news. You know what I mean? Like, you find out some girl in, like, Hawaii just got fucked by 2 guys. It's not a big deal. But, like, some guy that just ratted out on a big mobster is, like, quite big.
Uh-oh. Oh, she just dissed your whole industry. She just dissed your whole industry. She just dissed it, because that's pure entertainment, whereas the mafia is real life, people get killed and whatnot. But what about the fact that the porn industry has AIDS and things like that, and people do get killed from AIDS?
Well, if you, like, you know, wrote a story about how, like, an AIDS academic, you know, like...
He did. He broke that story.
What story was that?
Bunch of AIDS stories.
Oh, just a bunch of just...
He broke the story.
Oh, really?
There was a big thing in, like, the 90s that the porn industry was riddled with AIDS, and he was the guy who broke the story.
How did you find that stuff out?
Someone told me.
Because one of the porn actresses said, "You better use a condom tonight."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I said, why? And she said, well, I was just with this HIV positive guy. I think I might have HIV.
Jesus. Well, California has just set in that law where in porn you have to wear condoms now, don't you?
Yeah, in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In porn you have to wear.
So that's great. They're just going to go someplace else and film, huh?
I know, because Rabs doesn't like condoms in his porn until he bums it.
It's like fake breasts. Mm. By the way, Drita has fake breasts.
She does.
Total turn off. Just say.
Still looks good though.
All right, now we're just dying here.
What do you think about fake breasts, Esther?
I don't think. Right, the key to good fake breasts. There's a key to good fake breasts.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I always say.
Right, you've got to get good fake breasts is just to have one size up.
Okay.
Right, so they still look natural. Because if you have too big implants, it's going to stretch your skin, and basically, apparently, they don't go up and down when you do the business. So
yeah, and it's really important that the breasts go up and down when you do the business. Otherwise, it's like, you know, what am I doing? A concrete block?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
See? Good point.
Yeah, for those of us who have sex with women, this is an important consideration.
It is.
For those of us who don't have sex with women, it's not such a big deal.
So I think implants are alright. You can't really tell the difference as long as you get the small size.
There's a small size change.
Yeah, like the next step up. But when you get like 5 cups bigger.
Yeah. Oh.
Big.
Like, what do you think of Big Ange?
Oh, she's fantastic. Literally, she knows how horrid she looks. She's aware of what mutant she is, but she doesn't care.
All right. Real
How
good.
the Jews treated you while you were here?
Pleasant. Yeah, they've been alright. Yeah, they seem to be fine. Yeah, quite nice. I always find that the Guatemalans and the Mexicans seem to like me more.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, they seem to be more friendly to me.
So do you think the Orthodox Jews take care of themselves, or do you think they're all schlippy and could do with some plastic surgery?
Oh, I don't know if I should
to the salon. You can talk and say they're as rough as bags. Go ahead, say it.
Well, I've noticed difference. I've seen some Persian women, and they're like, no, but they're dressed very well.
Yeah.
But they look good. Do you know what I mean? Like,
they
they've got
do look good.
good makeup, good hair. But then, I see some Ashkenazi Jews, and I'm just like, oh, a bit of lippy wouldn't kill you. Do you know what I mean? I didn't notice that. But, you see the more kids they have, the
more schlumpy they get, they don't care anymore. They're just wearing, sackcloth.
Really just, I don't understand. I still think you can be sexy and wear good clothes and cover up well.
Exactly.
And I saw a couple of Persians, especially last time we went to Jeff's, didn't we? And you didn't notice, but there was.
He doesn't look at other women because he's not interested in women that way.
I look at other boys though.
Well, the Persians behind us, they were married women, and they looked really
Persians
good.
are often smoking hot.
But they look really good, really modest and really beautiful. So.
Yeah, I like me some Persian.
So yeah, I think you can still look after yourself and look really good and dress nice and still look really sexy. Some of them aren't so good. They don't really care.
Have you seen any from women walking around with fake breasts? Can you figure that one out?
No.
Okay.
I can't figure that out until I see cleavage or
Okay. All right. Just wondering. All right. Real good. So we got anything else for her?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
All right. You gonna miss us?
Yes.
Okay. You gonna stay tuned in?
Yes. Well, remember when I get work, I can't.
Yeah. No, because it's way late. No.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning back home now.
Right. But it's definitely the best show in the middle of the night there.
It is.
Yeah. Would you put us next to at least as high as Deadliest Catch?
No.
No, Deadliest Catch is more exciting?
Yeah.
You'd rather see a bunch of crabs coming on board than watch me and Luke learn a little Torah.
You're pinning me down here.
All right, a big round of applause for Esther.
See you later.
All right. Hey, we had 10 people in the chat room. Wow, big shout out. Hey, beloved champ, how's it going, Brett? Reb Taco joined the room, and there was a guy named Min1 Mike. Minnesota Mike, maybe.
She's a little sleepy tonight.
A little sleepy. All right.
Kept saying the same thing.
Yeah?
Over and over again.
Okay, and 3 people who were watching us weren't in the chat room, so go ahead. If you're listening to me and you're not in the chat, go ahead, create a login, log into the chat room, say hello, be part of the action. Okay.
Do you consider Persians white?
No.
Do you say to a Persian, hey, that's mighty white of you?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
I'm not sure.
I don't consider them white, and I don't consider them Sfard either.
Right.
They're just Middle Eastern, you know? Yeah.
Oh, but I like them.
Do you?
I like the Persians. I'm working a real job tomorrow in an office. This will be the first time since 1997.
Are you working
I'm going to be a secretary.
at Hustler Magazine again?
No, at a law
ABN?
At a law firm.
What are you doing?
I got a real job for a few hours, and if they like me, maybe more.
Doing what?
I'm just writing up, transcribing, writing things up. I said I knew my way around a keyboard, so they're giving me a shot.
Really?
Yeah. So this will be my first job in an office in
You're going to be
15
like a receptionist?
Years. No, I think I'm just going to be typing things for them.
Well, you're going to be the first male to do that?
Yeah,
and
so on the one hand...
You're telling me I'm gay?
On the one hand, I'm
You're questioning
glad...
my manhood?
Because this means I can both get a haircut and pay for a Passover Seder.
Okay. Where are you going to go for your Passover Seder? Mexico kosher?
I'll go buy a Seder somewhere. And on the other hand, I feel like, wow, I haven't progressed in life. I'm excited about getting a job in an office, typing as a secretary. Here I am, I'm the Matt Drudge of porn. I was on 60 Minutes. Like I was, did my own thing for 12 years. I was able to make a go of it, and now I'm having to go back to the regular workaday world. $18 an hour. They asked me what I charged. I said $18 an hour. They said that was a bit steep, and I said that's my price. And then I also had another job offer helping some guy with SEO, optimizing his website, and I'm charging him $30 an hour. And then I charge $100 for 45 minutes of Alexander technique. No happy endings.
How much you charge for happy ending?
Another 100.
Okay. You want to start the Parsha?
Yeah. So let's go to my Parsha summary. I've got some links on there I want to discuss.
Okie dokie.
Now this is not a Craigslist gig. This is a friend setting me up. So Newsweek has come out with its list of America's top 50 rabbis.
Aye.
And so I want to list over the Orthodox.
Why are we even paying attention to this before we even start? Why do you care?
Well, you had nothing to talk about on
But I mean,
the show
this is
tonight. You
less
had
than
nothing.
This is less than nothing. This is less than
I'm
nothing.
trying to keep the show going.
Okay, but
night after
you're
night,
taking
you have
the show
nothing to talk about.
Into the cesspool. Because first of all, I already mentioned that Newsweek just does hatchet jobs on the conservatives. It's just like this left-wing, extreme left-wing, anti-conservative, anti-religion. So what do you expect from them? You expect that this is like the pinnacle, the sole arbiter of truth when it comes to...
Those things don't matter. This is just what Jews are talking about today. Newsweek comes out with its list every year, and Jews talk about it. We're Jews. We're going to talk about it.
I don't talk about it. I don't care about their stupid...
Well, you had nothing to talk about.
Okay.
Night after night on this show, I come in and I'd say, Rabbi Rabs, what do you want to talk about tonight? I said, I don't really have anything.
Okay, but hey, I brought a chick on. When was the last time you brought a chick on? Last time a chick showed up anywhere near our show, she was on Skype or something, and you ended the whole show. You ended the whole show right there. Boom, done. End of show. Right? At least I bring a woman, and she actually the show continued.
Yeah, I give you props for that.
All right. Let me tell you something about this Newsweek list. Okay, it's supposed to be the most influential rabbis in the world or something, right?
In America,
right?
Just top 50.
Just the fact that Rabbi Rabs is not listed tells you this isn't listed, needs to be ignored, right? Because nobody is more unique and doing more on the internet than Rabbi Rabs. Am I right? Obviously. So the fact that he didn't even list me is all you need to know. And then...
Yeah, it's all about you.
It's all about me. Okay, take it away. I'll be watching.
Okay, so number 2 in their list. Number 1 was David Wolpe at Sinai Temple in Westwood. Number 2, it's Yehuda Krinsky, who runs Chabad. Number 8, Marvin Heyer and Abraham Cooper of the Simon Wiesenthal Center. Number 11, Avi Weiss, modern Orthodox rabbi who founded Yeshivat Chovevei Torah. 12 is Herschel Schachter, who, in my view, is the most influential Orthodox
How so?
rabbi, because his Pesach, the most influential in modern Orthodox life.
What? Maybe in modern Orthodoxy, but certainly he doesn't carry any weight in the overall frum world.
Just in modern Orthodoxy, the yeshivish world. They listen to it.
Not in the yeshivish world.
In the yeshivish world, the yeshivish,
no, they don't. In the
modern Orthodox yeshivish world.
In the modern Orthodox world, he carries some weight, but certainly not outside of that. In the yeshivish world, nobody holds from him. He's not a major posek.
Well, which yeshiva are you talking about? Are you talking about Ner Israel? He holds weight in Ner Israel.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't. Ner Yisrael, you don't know what you're talking about. Ner Yisrael, he doesn't hold any weight. Doesn't hold any weight. Let's go to the big yeshivas in America. Lakewood, Ner Yisrael, Chaim Berlin.
He holds weight in Chaim Berlin.
No, he doesn't. They don't hold from modern Orthodox rabbis. Absolutely not. They're more inclined to hold by a Rav Eliashib.
Chaim Berlin is modern Orthodox.
No, it's not. Chaim Berlin?
Yeah.
No, it's yeshivish. It's part of the system. It's part of the Lakewood, Ner Yisrael, Philadelphia.
Lakewood and Ner Yisrael are on antipodes, because Ner Yisrael requires all their Bachrim to go to a secular college at night, and for Lakewood that's Narishkeit. So don't even say Lakewood and Ner Israel as though they have anything in common. Lakewood and Ner Israel are opposites. Folks, feel free to ask me any questions.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, 16 is Shmuel Golden, who's the head of the RCA, which is the Modern Orthodox Rabbinic Association. 21 is Shmuel Kamenetsky, head of Agudat Yisrael.
Agudas Yisrael.
24 is Ashel Lopedin, Modern Orthodox. He's the rabbi of Rahm Emanuel. 26 is Haskell Lutstein in New York, in Manhattan, Kehilat Yeshurun, Modern Orthodox. 27, Arthur Schneier, Holocaust survivor. 30, Shmuley Boteach. 32, Sarah Horowitz, the Modern Orthodox rabbah. 35, Mark Schneier, has been divorced 3 times. He's the son of Arthur Schneier, but he got some American imams to write a letter to Hamas making the Quranic case for releasing Gilad Shalit. What a lot of good that did. Number 40, Shmuley Yanklowitz, who's assistant rabbi at B'nai David Jeshurun and founder of Uri Tzedek, the Orthodox social justice group, so very left-wing modern Orthodox. Dov Linzer, dean of Hovevei Torah, again left-wing modern Orthodox. Steve Greenberg, the gay modern Orthodox rabbi.
I thought I recognized his name. It's just a lame list of. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. The Gedolim of our door are not even listed in it. It's just ridiculous. Except for Kamenetsky, he counts.
So, should Orthodox parents worry about sending their kids to a secular university?
They shouldn't send them at all. That's what I think.
You went to a secular university.
And I regret it.
You regret going to UCLA?
Absolutely.
Really? So you shouldn't send your kids to Harvard? Or Yale?
Harvard?
Stanford?
Absolutely
Berkeley.
not. Absolutely not. Here's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Today's American campuses,
Mm-hmm.
this may not hold true outside of America, but in America, they've all gone to like the liberal, left wing, and they're going to teach you all of the secular ones. They're going to teach you all this secular nourishkeit, right? Stuff that tell you like evolution existed and there's no God and blah 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 and a universe is greater than 6,000 years, and it's all this stuff that they shove into a person's brain and they tell it this is how it is, and it's very dangerous, and all is lehefech Torah. The idea of there's a heter to go, right? What's the heter to go, Levi? It's not
If you need to make a living.
You need to make a living, but that you're being sucked into the brainwash of a Jew needs a job, an employment from somebody else. That's never been the Jewish way. The Jewish way is to start your own business.
Well, to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist or an accountant, you need to go to college. And then
Maybe those are jobs that maybe we shouldn't fill.
just not be doctors, lawyers, dentists, attorneys.
I know. I'm saying that there's been plenty of Jewish this and that and the other, but I think it's time that we swing the pendulum and we start talking about Jews opening their own businesses. And that's where the investment should be made. Instead of investing all that money to go to college so that to learn a profession, I think it's better to put a person in a trade school, right, where he can learn something and not spend that kind of money and not be exposed to the kind of behaviors and stuff that goes on a college campus, and also not be brainwashed with all the garbage that's taught, that's all this heresy and all this garbage, and rather go to a trade school where they just focus on the job, right? Like you went to a trade school, for instance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not exposed to all this garbage, all this klippakite, and all this stupidities, right?
Right.
Right? You just went there, and they told you, like,
Alexander technique.
Yeah.
How to get in and out of a chair for 3 years.
and you paid for that. Okay? So that I have no problem with, right? But that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about taking biology and anthropology and sitting there and going all these, frat parties and drinking and
Banging shiksas.
And banging shiksas and all these other things. And we all know that it leads to intermarriage, it leads to assimilation, it leads to indulging in anti-Torah behavior, it leads to questioning if Torah is even the truth. These are damaging things. So I'm very much of the belief that no Jewish person, you shouldn't put yourself in that position, and Jews shouldn't be going to college. That's my personal belief.
Now,
Jews should be going to yeshiva.
Gleb DeCham wants to know if I'm good at SEO. He might have work for me, so can I type on there and tell him I'm good on SEO so he can give me a job?
I don't even know what that is.
Can I type on your computer?
Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
SEO means search engine optimization. So, Blev, I'll be waiting for your work, my friend. I'm ready to go for you. Okay, so how fast can I type? 60 words a minute.
Okay.
And I was going to say something, but then I saw the opportunity to make money, and then like all my ideas went. But like, look at the Chafetz Chaim. He got a master's degree in social work.
Did he? Bullshit! You're so full of... Let's talk about the Chafetz Chaim. He's an excellent example. He believed that you should work the minimum. So he opened a store. He opened his own store. All right? And he didn't even want to compete with other people because he didn't want to cut in. He figured, oh my God, everybody, if I open up a store, everybody's going to come to it. So he only had a store that sold things that other people didn't sell, and he only was open 3 hours a day, as the Rambam writes. That's the Jewish way. The Jewish way is a person supposed to sit and learn Torah all day. That's what you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to take 3 hours out and have your business and do your business stuff and work for yourself, right? And that's the Jewish way. The Rambam writes about it, right? The Jewish way is not to go to college and spend 12 hours a day, getting drunk off your ass, right? And sitting in these lectures while these anti-religious secularists at the most liberal left-wing anti-religious schools, such as, like you mentioned, what did you say, Harvard and Brandeis and Yale and UCLA and Stanford and Berkeley and all these places that hate Jews, hate religion, hate Israel. This is not a place that Jews should be.
We've got a Rav from Lakewood in our chat room. He says Jews need to live behind ghetto walls so that the Goyim won't tempt them with knowledge.
The Goyim don't have knowledge. The Torah is the ultimate knowledge. They don't have it. We win.
So there's a famous statement. Who was it? The Rambam who said, if someone tells you that there's Hakma or like sexual learning among the Goyim, believe them. But if they tell you there's Torah among the Goyim, don't believe them.
Bleb the Chant asked a question. He says, Rabbi, is Herschel Schechter qualify as a learned individual? Absolutely, he's a posek for the OU kashrus. Right? He does. But is he influential is the word. If you want to know something, I can say this because I worked for the OU.
Yeah.
We had two poskim on board.
Yeah.
We had Herschel Schechter.
Yeah.
And we had...
the CEO.
Huh? No, Menachem guy. He doesn't poskim.
Oh, sorry.
He's just like a figure. We also
Dennis
had...
Prager.
Yes! We had Yisrael Belsky.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Who was also the Rosh Hashiva of Torah V'das or something?
Yeah.
He's more influential. When push came to shove and you had a kashrus shaila, you had a real shaila for the raw, right?
Yeah.
You'd call Belsky. Everybody calls him. And the reason why is not that he knows more than Schechter, because he has more broad shoulders.
Yeah.
When Belsky says it, he carries more weight because he's the Rosh Yeshiva of Torah V'das, which is a respected yeshiva in the yeshivish belt, whereas Herschel Schechter is like just a Rosh Kollel, a Rosh Yeshiva of YU. It doesn't carry as much respect outside of the walls of the YU and the OU office building. You want to impress Klal Yisrael in the yeshivish world. You want to be accepted by the Hasidim and the Haredim and all these other types of labels. You want somebody who's got that kind of whatever. And that's why they brought Belsky in. It's not that Belsky knows more, it's just he carries more weight.
Now, another problem on a secular college campus, these Asian tiger co-eds
are we talking about this
Jewish
again?
men
Are we talking about this
campus,
again?
thereby dooming Jewish women to a life of spinsterdom or worse, intermarriage. Because, like, look at the founder of Facebook. He's got an Asian girlfriend. Nice Jewish boy like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Oh, nice. You know how anti-Israel that Facebook is. I mean, you're constantly being badgered with it. You know, it's that guy is. Jeez. All the big tech sites. You know, Google, Yahoo, Facebook. They've all got a left-leaning and all got an anti-Israel agenda. All of them. It's sad.
So do you think Kansas is going to make a run here? They're down by 14 points.
They're down by 1 million points.
But they always keep making runs in the second half.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, because that means they have a good coach. I haven't followed much. All I know is they got a big white guy from Southern California. And he's surrounded by 9 Schwartz. So that's all I know.
Okay, we're about to enter the era of Mashiach. According to Chabad, our sages describe the whole of human history as a 7 millennia week, consisting of 6,000 years of human labor in developing God's world, and a 7th millennium that is holy Shabbat and rest for life everlasting, the era of Mashiach. Are we about to enter the era of Mashiach?
Here's all I know about Mashiach. You ready?
Uh-huh.
I'm not, and there will be. I don't know. Who knows? Here, you know what? There's one of the Rosh Hashivas of Or Sameach. You know who David Gottlieb?
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is, Rabbi
Yes.
Gottlieb? Okay. So he he wrote something that I thought was murdic. He said that all of the entire Talmud. You know how many pages of the Talmud there are? There's
5,000?
No, there's a little over 2,000. You know this. You're in Daf Yomi.
Okay.
There's like a little over 2,000, right?
Yeah.
2,000 pages of that.
But the page is both sides.
Right. So it gives it. Yes. Well. So it gives. Oh, I see.
Like
what you're
in
saying.
a normal English book, those pages
That's
are counted as 2
true.
pages.
So before it's almost 5,000. Very
Yeah.
good, lady. Okay. So what you have is like 5,000 of them, right?
Yeah.
So the amount, what you learn, what a man learns by learning the Talmud, says Rabbi Gottlieb, should map to it's to what you should be thinking about. Like if God wants you to be thinking, how do you know what God wants you to think about, Levi? Does he want you to think about basketball? Does he want you to think about porn?
No.
Does he want you to think about, the girl you saw walking down the street when you were coming over here?
No.
Okay. What does he want you to think about?
Torah.
The Talmud tells us what you should be thinking about. You should be reviewing in your head what you learned that morning when you went to your Daf Yomi shiur. Right. You should be on your way to Rab's place, House of Rabs. You're thinking about Parashat, whatever it is, Masechta Truma, whatever you're on, Tumura, whatever you're on.
Yeah.
Okay. So it should correlate. That's what you should be thinking about. So if there's a lot of Baba Kamas, a man should be engaged in thinking about, Baba Kama type topics, right?
Yeah.
There's only 5 small references in the entire Talmud to Mashiach. Did you know that?
No.
It's only 5 little spots in the entire Talmud. 5,000 pages. There's 5 isolated references to the Mashiach. Okay? 5. 5 out of 5,000.
Wow.
So 1 out of 1,000, 1/1,000th of a man's life should be spent thinking about the Messiah. That's the lesson learned. 1/1,000th of a man's time awake should be spent learning about Messiah. How many hours are you awake, Levi, in the day? Let's figure it out. You wake up at 5:56. You take a
About
cold
16 hours.
You're up 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
Okay. How many days in a week? There's 7 days in a week.
Yeah.
7 times 16 is about roughly what? It's about
112.
It's 112 waking hours a week. Okay, 112 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, let's say like that. But let's just call it 100, which is like 1,000. 1/1,000 of that, so it would be 1/100th would be 1 hour, right? So it would be 1/100th of
40 seconds.
Be 40 seconds of your week should be spent thinking about the Messiah. We just wasted 3 minutes talking about the Messiah. You can't think about the Messiah or talk about it for until December.
Yeah.
I just ruined it for you, Levi. You can't think about the Messiah.
I don't think about Messiah.
Oh, it's not Messiah. So these whack jobs from Chabad who talk about Messiah all day long, and they sing, "We want Mashiach now." Once the song's over, they're done. They are not allowed to think about it, and they shouldn't be thinking about it until next year. Literally. Okay, Judaism doesn't focus on Messianic times. I spoke about this last week.
Yeah.
Judaism is not Christianity. Christianity spends a lot of time thinking and talking about days to come. That is not Judaism. That's where we separate from Christianity. The Torah way is to focus on the now. What is happening in front of me now? What do I have to do? Learning how to do the simplest of tasks. How do I take a pee according to halacha? How do I tie my shoes according to halacha? What is the Jewish tradition? My God, we're entering the Passover is this week, Levi Pesach, right?
Yeah.
There are millions and millions of details to the halachas of Pesach. That's the kind of stuff a Jew should be focused on. What do I have to do for Pesach? And get all the other stuff out of your head. Somebody starts telling you about the Messiah. You say, I don't have time to worry and talk about the Messiah. I am focused on how do I get rid of the chametz from my house. What constitutes chametz, right? What do I have to do in terms of charosis? What counts as maror? How many times do I have to dip? These are things that Jews are focused on. We're not talking about days in the world to come. All right, so I said that.
It's good.
Hey, let's see what the chat room says.
I just did.
I didn't. Boop.
So the show's now stopping so that the rabbi can catch up with the chat room.
No, you can keep talking.
Where I tell you there's nothing going on.
Where's Talmud 123? I saw him come and he's gone.
The Torah reminds us not to let important moments pass by unnoticed. So there's, I guess in this week's Torah portion they dedicate the priests, Aaron's sons.
Yeah.
So like the Torah is filled with rituals to mark important points in life. Like you could just get married without any ceremony. You could just like get married. But that's not the Jewish way.
That's probably going to end up happening.
You have a ceremony. You have rituals. For marriage and for reaching bar mitzvah. And now even there are some non-Jews who are having bar mitzvahs. And so
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's an article in the Wall Street Journal about it.
Oh, God. Yeah?
So Judaism is great for marking important passages in life. And that's part of this week's Torah portion.
What other Jewish events? Do the whole...
there's the bris.
There's the bris.
And there's the bar mitzvah.
Right.
There's the getting married. And there's getting divorced.
That's a big one.
And then your kids having a circumcision, and your kids having bar mitzvah
or bas mitzvah.
And then there's mourning for when your parents or family members die.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's special tehillim that you say before you get arrested for white collar crime.
Yep. Very good. All right, go on to the next thing.
So there's a lot in this book of Leviticus about building a beautiful sanctuary for God. So I'm wondering, is it important that we build beautiful synagogues to God? Like, why should beauty be a secular pursuit? Like, God put beauty and music in the ancient temple, and men with like ugly deformities couldn't serve as priests. So we used to really value beauty in Judaism, but now many of our synagogues are just nothing. They're just holes in the wall.
Okay, can I respond to that?
Please.
There is Indian, if you will. There is a custom, a tradition to beautify the shul.
Yeah.
To make it look like something, to make it look like, to kind of represent how the Beis Hamikdash was. So the Beis Hamikdash was highly beautified.
Yeah.
Ashkenazis, I guess, never had a lot of money over the years. I'm going to guess that was part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And we were poor, we were in Europe, we didn't have money. And so Torah says if it comes down to a choice of where to put your money, the shul, beautifying the shul is way down on the list. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
When you give money, like, it's much more important to have a mikveh, to make sure that you have yeshivas set up and the rebbeim have money and are well fed, and to be able to bury your dead and to teach kids and whatever.
Bring out your dead.
Right. So those things took priority, and so beautifying the shul, there's just no money left for that. Okay. But the Sephardim have taken it to like a new level. If you go into like a town, you always find the Sephardi shul because they spend a lot of money. They've always held on to that tradition. Mm-hmm. Sephardic shuls always have lots of decorations, and if you look at them and go, oh my God, is this like a Reform temple? Because Reform is like a church, right? Yeah. You ever walked into like a Reform? It's like organs are playing and stuff's going on, right? It's like you think you're in a cathedral.
Yeah.
So like Levi feels at home there.
Exactly.
Like, he's got the organ going.
Got the organ going there, got the organ going here.
Yeah, and like you see behind, like the Arna Kodesh is lifting off and it's coming down from the sky. It's like, you got like a whole concert, right? There's like fire. It's like going to a Kiss concert, right? Yeah. So Levi goes and, he pays his $10 and he's...
I like it.
Yeah, he's getting like a whole show and whatnot, right? He's just like, only thing we're missing is a stripper.
And sometimes not even that.
Nah, otherwise it's like, it's perfect. It's like a bachelor's party, So there's that going on. Now, but that's the way like a reform tries to emulate. I don't know if conservative does. Do they do that too, or is that just a reform?
Somewhat.
Oh yeah, because they're trying to keep up with the reform.
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, so but if you went into a Sephardic, at least from the outside, you're not going to hear an organ, but you're going to see it's all lit up and it's got like ornaments and stuff, and you're going to go, whoa, is that from? Because that's going to be your first question. Because you in the Ashki world, you see something all like that. Like personified and beautified and all that, you're going to think it's non-from.
Right.
Right, because what is a from one? It's like an office building, like a strip mall, It's like, hey, we got an office building, a bima and a cover and boom, you're ready to go. But so you see like these big, huge houses of worship, if you will, and you think there must be reform, but a Sephardi one is like that. So
right.
if you even the Persian ones, have you seen them? There's one out in the valley. It was like a multi-million-dollar building. Have you seen,
really? No.
Have you seen this one?
No.
There's one on I think it's on Reseda Boulevard or Canoga or something. It's in the West Valley. Oh my God! Because like all the millionaire Persian Jews out there got together and they pulled their money and they spent. The thing is like gold. It's like amazing, So they do it. We don't do it traditionally because we were always poor. It's like the same reason we ate gefilte fish. There's no other reason you would eat gefilte fish.
It's the same way with Orthodox women. Many of them are very plain and.
Oh, we talked about this last week.
But others of them, do it up and they get their breasts pumped up a little bit and they get a little liposuction done and they get put on some makeup. They wear some nice clothes and it's a whole new engine.
Oh, wait a second. Faith asked a question.
Yes.
Is it true that when Jewish calendar hits 6,000, the Jewish Messiah has to come?
No.
No. The answer is no. Beloved Champ says it in the Zohar, but we don't hold the Zohar to be authoritative. Exactly. The best way to say it, the Messiah comes when the Messiah comes. It's all, God knows, and that's it. That's all you have to worry about. All right. And let's see, Bev the Champs, I'm not sure about that. I just know that it was
Yeah, that's really interesting for our audience to hear you mumble.
Well, but every time you talk, you mumble. It's not me who says that, it's Liquid Rob. Okay. All right, go on to the next thing.
Liquid Rob notes that in New York, the rich secular Jews provide their pet dogs with bar mitzvahs.
Okay, and you think the audience is more interested in that statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of them are also arranging for their dogs to be circumcised with Masitza. What's it? Masitza? Masitza.
Okay.
So the high priest is commanded to wear linen and wool, but only the high priest. So in the sacred garment, it's okay, it's commanded by God, but for the rest of Jews, they are forbidden to wear linen and wool.
What's it called?
The breast?
No, what's it called when a Jew wears...
Shatnez.
Shatnez. Do you get your clothes checked for that? I guess you don't have to with T-shirts.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, you know what? There was something that I actually agreed with on your. I'll go up a little higher on your. I read this. I agree with Joe. I don't know who Joe is.
Talmud study versus Daf Yomi.
But I agree with him.
Yeah.
Like 75 to 80%.
Yeah.
Not totally agree with him, but I'm not a Daf Yomi type person. I'm not against it, but I personally think if I only have an hour a day to learn, I would rather learn than to learn Daf Yomi.
Yeah.
I would, and over the course of time, you're going to end up, hopefully getting to the same point because, you're just in the course of learning. I think it's more important to learn and.
Well, Daf Yomi isn't learning. Daf Yomi is sitting there while a rabbi speaks very quickly, reading aloud the Torah.
Well, if you did it on your own, it would be. I'm saying.
Yeah, But that's not what people mean when they say
Oh, okay.
Daf Yomi.
Right.
You know, I'm doing Daf Yomi, or I've gone through Shas. Because I went to Daf Yomi for 7 years. You haven't gone through Shas. You just sat there while a rabbi said some words very quickly.
Right. I think here's how it goes. Let's say like a person's already gone through the whole Shas.
Yeah. But Daf Yomi
Would
going
you-
through? Because that's not really going through.
No, you went to yeshiva.
Really learn Shas. Okay.
You went to yeshiva, you were there for 10 years in
Yeah.
yeshiva, and you
Yeah.
learned all the major masechtas inside out.
Okay.
Right, and then
Okay, yeah, then-
the next 10
yeah.
years you learned like minor masechtas and whatever,
Right.
and then like at the age of 45 or 50,
Yeah.
right, you've already got like the whole shas under your belt.
Yeah.
Now you wanted a way
Like
to review.
me, like I'm 45.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to review.
And you wanted to review the entire Torah or the entire shas. I think it would be this
Yeah.
would be a good way because it would only take you 7 years and you review and retain some of which you've learned already. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be like first time learning. I think it's an excellent review method that you could learn Daf Yomi. Therefore, when like the Gedolim and the Rosh Hashivas go, I just finished Daf Yomi again, I say that's great. You know, he found a way to, you know, review everything. But I don't think that's the way to learn all of that for the first time. That's just me. I don't think so. I think it's better to sit down with one Masechta for those 7 years, and bang your teeth out, and learn how to learn.
So Sam Harris is one of America's most famous atheists, and he had said something interesting about the state of Israel. He says, consider the position of Israel, which is so regularly vilified by the left. As a secularist and a non-believer, and as a Jew, I find the idea of a Jewish state obnoxious. But if ever a state organized around a religion was justified, it is the Jewish state of Israel, given the world's propensity for genocidal anti-Semitism. And if ever criticism of a religious state was unjustified, it is the criticism of Israel that ceaselessly flows from every corner of the Muslim world, given the genocidal aspirations so many Muslims freely confess regarding the Jews. Those who see moral parity between the two sides of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict are ignoring rather obvious differences in intent. So here's an atheist who's really got his head on straight.
Well, you know, Israel, the state of Israel is an atheist country.
Right.
So if you're anti-religion, the state of Israel is a perfect country for you.
It was more atheist than it is now. Now, probably 25-30% of the country is Orthodox.
Okay, how many Knesset members? How many Knesset members are wearing yarmulke?
Maybe 10%.
Thank you. You call that?
But as far as Israelis who identify as atheists, I'd say it'd be probably no more than a third. So many Israelis are traditional, even if they're not observant, particularly the Sephardim. The Sephardim are basically traditional. So, I know you had a lot prepared tonight, so what else?
Love to chat. Let's see what he wrote. Are you guys having relationship issues? What do you mean? Who has the better sacred garment, Jews or Mormons?
And another exciting evening of Torah talk here. We're just whipping through the one-liners. Like, fasten your seatbelt, folks. This is going to be a bumpy ride. I mean, this puts the NCAA championship game to shame.
Look at Joanne, Garden Fun, Joanne.
Oh, Garden Fun. So we're wrapping up the show, Garden Fun. So get in here with a question right quick with your
let's get
grammar.
some serious Torah questions. I'm sure Faith or Malachi has some.
So are you reading any books these days? Do you read books?
I can't read English.
Yeah, where's Wankel 613?
Oh, Wankel 613.
Then we'd really have it going on.
And we had Talmud 123 who showed up for a small time, but before I could say hello, he was gone again. What happened to Wankel?
Wankel 613.
That was the best name. No, the best name ever was
Rumpelforeskin.
That was great. All right.
So Kansas has crawled back to 10 points down.
All right.
And so I've got a big day tomorrow. I've got like an actual job.
Really?
Going to a law office to
where?
type
Century City?
in West Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be doing some typing and sitting at a desk, and maybe there'll be hot chicks there. I love like high-powered lawyers in high-powered legal outfits and high heels, like telling me what to do.
Oh, so it's going to be women lawyers telling...
Well, I hope there are women lawyers. I'm working for a guy, but I'm hoping there are women lawyers around.
Oh, okay.
That just makes me happy. And I'm sure
Is he one of our viewers?
I doubt it, or he wouldn't have hired me.
Oh, okay. The reason I asked that question about the Jewish Messiah is because I have a friend who believes that Jesus can return at any time. Okay, let me just tackle that. Okay, Okay. Jesus ain't coming back. Here's what's going on. The Messiah. Oh, we've already passed our 40 seconds. We're only allowed to talk about the Messiah for 40 seconds a week. But the Messiah, the Jewish Messiah, there's certain requirements that are required according to the Talmud. And according to our tradition, there are certain requirements. And one is that once they start their messianic business, right, and people start to think of this person as a Messiah candidate, they can't die. If they die, then they weren't the one. Because they can't die in the middle of the business and come back and finish the job. You can't have a pre-warmed Messiah come back and do the business. And since Jesus died, therefore he's eliminated, he's disqualified. The Lubavitcher Rebbe died, therefore he is not the Messiah. There's no difference in that respect between Jesus and Lubavitcher Rebbe, and it's very important. Lubavitchers who skate on that, right, and they still want to think that the Rebbe's coming back, and the Rebbe could be the Messiah, or the Rebbe's still alive. This is the antithesis of Judaism. This contradicts Judaism at its very core. In fact, according to many poskim, according to poskim, that is heretical because it goes against one of the Rambam's core principles of absolute faith that God is going to send the true Messiah, and by believing in a false Messiah, you're transgressing that core principle.
Now, we may not have a life, and there may be many things wrong with this present time, but we are living in the golden age of television. Like the best television is being made in the last few years. Like you have The Sopranos, you have Mad Men. I don't know if anyone's watched Boardwalk Empire. It's a great show on HBO. There's Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of great television these days.
Yeah, but still lacks in America compared to the 70s. The 70s had the best TV.
No, this is way better than the 70s.
Oh, we had All in the Family. What are you giving me that? Oh, my God. That was...
So you think 70s TV was the golden age?
I think that was...
Farrah Fawcett and Charlie's Angels?
Oh, that was embarrassing, but...
She was smoking.
We had great shows back then. We had Odd Couple and...
Oh, she died. Remember, like, she died of rectal cancer, and she did like a reality show of her final days.
Yes.
Like Farrah Fawcett, it was a smoking hot, dying of rectal cancer. Like it
left a bad taste?
Like there's this great line in this John Updike short story where a wife says to her husband, "You don't need me, you just need my asshole."
Okay, well that's not good for this show.
I had a girlfriend who would repeat that back to me.
Faith said she just wanted to know if the Jewish Messiah can come at any time, and the answer is yes. And it could be me, and I could just announce it tomorrow morning. You never know, right? So yes, the Messiah can come at any time, and it's not for us to worry about. That's just for God to worry about. Our job is to just do what we have to do. That's what we have to do. And Levi, that means you have to do what you have to do. What do you have to do? You have to go type.
You have to go type in a law firm. But I was
do you have to wear a dress for that job?
Kind of amused that the turnout for the big Trayvon rally yesterday, or on Sunday, was like below what they expected. So that's kind of like running out of steam. So this idea of this, poor boy getting no justice in the criminal system, I think the steam's kind of going out of that.
Then we found out how racist LeBron James is.
How so?
He's doing this. He mouthed off, and he's doing the whole thing with the hoodie and the.
Oh.
Yeah. Who needs them?
Don't wear a hood, folks, unless you want to be treated like a thug.
Yeah, it turns out that guy was he had a criminal record, and he was expelled from 3 schools or something, right? So the guy who was doing the night watch business, when this guy like broke into the what is it? What do you call it? A gated community. I think he was right on the mark.
What does Malachi mean when Rav, if it turns out you're Mashiach, I will up my level of donation? You mean he's already giving you money? He's going to up the level? That means he's already, like, lining your pockets.
But my question is, why would you take a chance and wait? He said, if you become the Mashiach, like if it turns out you're the Mashiach, then why would you want to wait for that point? Wouldn't you want to be on the Mashiach's good side before you get to that point?
Well, it's like when you're around people who are powerful and successful, and then you're nice to them.
Right, but then it's too late because they see that you're transparent, right?
People who are losers, you treat them like that.
You want to be on that person's good side before they get to that spot. You want to start, what do you call it, lining their pockets before they make the announcement. That way when they make the announcement, you're already on that team. See, that's how you do it, right? And who knows, maybe Levi is Eliyahu and Navi, right? And Elijah the prophet, for those of you following at home, and he's going to announce my coming.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
Wow. So I really think we've
stretched it tonight.
we've stretched it tonight.
You know, we even lost the audience member because Esther 92 used to be in the chat.
She's like passed
me out.
Oh, check you out.
Passed out on the couch.
And Talmud 123 is gone, and so there's that.
Okay, Bloody Champ, hit me up. I'll give you some SEO. Okay, Kitty, it's important that you stay off the crack and you stay in yeshiva.
All right. Oh, quick business about next week.
Okay.
Next week is Pesach. I say we should not do the show.
Yeah.
It's Pesach. We only have like 3 days of downtime in between.
Yeah.
So no show. And then the following week, it's still going to be, once again, Parashat Shemini. Oh, I have something I want to say. Can I?
Yeah.
Parashat Shemini.
Yeah.
This is what I want to say about Parashat Shemini.
Yeah.
Can I say it?
Please.
Okay. What does Shemini mean in Hebrew?
I've forgotten.
It means 8.
8.
It's interesting, we read this Parsha 8 times this year. This is very common. Parsha Shemini is going to be read actually after Pesach is over. Because this Shabbos, the Torah portion is Pesach. The following Shabbos, the Torah portion is Pesach. And we don't actually read Shemini till the following Shabbos. So it's 3 weeks from now. So when we come back, the next Monday that we'll meet, will be at Levi's house, the Monday after Yom Tov, right? Levi will just be coming back from work he'll still have his high heels on from typing all day, right? And we're going to be hitting Parsha Shemini again. Levi's going to have to come up with all new stuff to talk about because we're going to be doing the same Parsha. What's interesting is in the shuls, we read the actual words of the Parsha 8 times. Why? Because we just read it Shabbos at Mincha time, right? We bring out the Torah and we always read the following Parsha. We read it this morning as one of the Mondays, because they brought out the Torah, we read from it. We read it on Thursday, and this coming Shabbos at Mincha, we're going to read it again for the 4th, right? Yeah. The following Shabbos, we're going to read it again at Mincha, right? That's going to be the 5th. Then Monday, Thursday, and eventually on Shabbos. It'll end up 8 times we're going to read Parsha Shemini, 8 for 8. That's how you remember it. Okay, so when we come back, 2 weeks from tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at Levi's house, the house of Levi, right? It's going to take him at least a week to clean that place for Pesach, that room.
Yeah, I've only got one room.
That's got a lot of cleanup. We're going to come back to Levi's on that Monday night. Next week, no show, lights out. Enjoy Pesach. Eat a lot of matzah. Go ahead, take it away.
Good night.
Okay. All right.